All right. We are the Vermont for Wildlife Advocacy for the Voiceless project, and I'm Nick Adams.
And I'm Catherine Van Even.
And so I guess just to start off, we thought we'd talk about a little bit about like just the background starting information. And so Vermont for Wildlife is an organization run in Vermont, and it is run by Ashley. And I can't remember. Do you know her last name?
Ashley Prout.
Oh, Ashley Prout. Yeah, sorry. And so basically, I forgot where I was going with that. But so we are Vermont for Wildlife advocacy group working on like outreach for Vermont for Wildlife, and we decided to focus on specific parts just to support them and their cause so far. And so a little bit more background into Vermont for Wildlife. They're a group of 400 volunteers that support imperiled wildlife causes in the state, especially House Bill 99, which I'm about to get into, which is basically what we're supporting in this project. And it basically prohibits trading of 14 of the most imperiled wildlife around the world. And this bill has been tried to go through the Vermont representatives a couple times, and it's passed once, but not in the Senate. And so this legislative year, we're trying to get it to go through. And so basically, our main focus was because of the weak federal laws and policies and enforcement in place in the country, a lack of state laws enables the imperiled wildlife trade to continue in the state and all other states that do not have this kind of legislation. And so we want H99 to go through to pass so that Vermont can no longer support this imperiled wildlife trade. So the importance of it would be that the bill would help with the sixth max extinction that's going on right now, which is a very big loss in biodiversity and genetic diversity around the world and in the state itself. And because of the weak federal laws, almost all, they say around 90% of imperiled wildlife trade still comes into the country. So it really is up to the states to decide whether or not they want to do this imperiled wildlife trade. And so far, out of the 50 states, only 11 states, and then also DC, have these laws that prohibit in some way this wildlife trade in the state itself. And unfortunately, Vermont is not one of those states, even though we've been trying for, I'd say, the past 8 years, nearly a decade now, trying to get it passed. And so down here in the bottom right, you can see a quote from the representative of Williston, Jim McCullough, from 2016, which I thought was just a really important quote to look at and read about, just because I feel like a lot of people might not think that Vermont is important in this process, but I think that a lot of stuff goes through the state that we might not really think about, just because we're so much near these larger cities. And so, with that in mind in the background, we decided to approach the project almost kind of like in two different stands. And in the first, we decided to focus on supporting the bill and making sure that the public is educated and aware of the bill, and basically outreaching to them to make sure that we can push them and have them push on the legislatures. And to do this, considering like the circumstances right now, we decided to use social media as our main platform to outreach to the public and bring support, just because of the whole social distancing and other circumstances that are just going on right now. And so we decided to also kind of provide almost a call to action, inspire others. And so we decided to do that, um, just to basically understand how the problem, just so that they like understand the problem, I guess, is like the most important thing. I think people can't really have a call to action without first understanding the problem. And we just thought it would be an easy way. We wanted to make sure that people had the easiest way to participate and also support the cause. And so we used that factor as like the most effective when looking at ways to approach the project and ways to like achieve our goal. And so then putting that forward, we decided to focus on two things: outreach and increasing slash consolidating support. And so for our outreach, we decided to create a large list. I think it was like 20 or 30 different approaches we could take to achieve this goal. And we kind of just generalized them down and made them so that, like, thinking about the circumstances we're in now, we decided to just increase the number of social media platforms they had, because at the moment they only had Facebook, and we decided that we would want to do more than that just because there's different types of groups of people on different social media platforms, and I think it's really important to like connect to all of them throughout the state. And so not only did we want to connect to the like citizens of Vermont, but also connecting to like state organizations and maybe even regional organizations around New England, and getting their support and intake and how they can help us in supporting this cause and passing H99. And so then we also decided to reach out to organizations that supported causes similar in other states, like in New York. Their bill was passed in 2014. And so the next part of our plan to bring our goal into fruition was basically increasing the support and kind of like firing the people up almost in a way. And so we decided to focus certain posts towards certain people, and we would have things like more visual learners for like Instagram to have more like photos and quotes and things like that, kind of more like powerful impact statements. And then Facebook, we could have like more almost in depth, more focused towards, I guess, an older generation or people that are like more interested in the details. And then we decided to also create a legislative email template that people could use to send to their um, regional legislatures, and at the same time have a little link so that they could figure out who their legislatures are. And then we also had a state petition that we decided to put out, and we also hope to put on the social media platforms just to consolidate the support and show the legislators like how many people want this in the state. And so that was kind of like our general plan for change and to bring H99 into like a real law.
Yeah. So what had inspired these methods for change was some of the research we had done. So in this article, you can see with the U.S. banning the trade of ivory, in the highlighted section, it talks about how this was able to happen because of things that the public had done. So it talks about like people had been signing petitions, and like kids were drawing pictures to their legislators, or they were calling in. And another thing I had seen was this Instagram post for the Dakota Access Pipeline project and how it was canceled. And in this post, it also talked about how people calling in to or emailing their legislators was really helpful and made an impact. So both of these things are things that have worked and they've passed. And so I think we thought that it was like a good way to go about our own project as well to get this bill passed. So this is the petition that we made. Right now, I think I'm the only one who had signed it, but because we haven't yet gotten the Facebook password and username, but we actually spoke to our community partner today, and she was going to post it. So it could be getting more signatures as we speak. And so, yeah, just circulating that. And once she shares it, she said that she has partners on the Facebook who usually do share her posts. So from there, it can probably spiral into getting more support. And then, as we talked about with the email template, we were building off of an email template that Ashley already had on her website, but we figured that it would also probably get more of a response if it was on Facebook, where you have a lot of people of her supporters who probably check their Facebook quite often. So we wanted to make a post that had this email template that she had been using, and we also want people to email their specific legislators because it is a Vermont bill. So we want them to target their specific legislators, so they can use this link in this find your legislator to find them. And we wanted to make this post as well, which we have not yet been able to, again, because we don't have the information, but we can still, we've been in contact with her recently about giving it to us. So we have another meeting where maybe we can get that started tomorrow. And outreach. So we have also reached out to these different organizations. This Wildlife Conservation Society is like a big organization that has passed bills and worked with other organizations to get trade stopped in New York, I believe. And then we also reached out to the Sierra Club, um, the Vermont Natural Resource Council, and Vermont Institute of Natural Science. And we're going to reach out to a couple more later on today, just to have like some Vermont-based support, because we do want support. Like, well, the main support that we need is from Vermonters, but we also reached out to some other ones just to get an idea of how successful organizations have, like what they've done. So, for successes, failures, and lessons learned, we were able to accomplish most of what we wanted, but we still are just waiting to get everything posted. So, everything is there. We just need to get it up online, which I don't think is a failure, but we're just waiting on that. So another thing is like time constraints, as I bet everybody feels. But it doesn't have to be limited to when this course ends. So whenever this happens, we can get it up there. And some lessons we've learned are about persistence. So like in communication, these kind of go together. Like if people aren't answering you through email, like it's not personal. You can like feel comfortable just reaching out some more. And getting the information you need. They're probably like doing their own. Like I know our community partner, she seemed busy with just like summer and her kids and stuff. So just like reaching out again is also always good. And building relationships, like a lot of the work we wanted to do, there are people and resources that are there that have done similar work or can help us. So you don't have to start from scratch, and you can build upon like what's already there. Um, So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching our presentation, and I'm looking forward to hearing